to the One to Another podcast. My name is Joanne, and today we're going to talk about the difference between alone and lonely while you're walking through the holidays, when you've gone through a loss. And there is a difference, and we have to choose what we're going to do with our attitude during the holidays. And someone said, I think it was Henry Van Dyke said, Christmas is coming. Are you willing to stoop down and consider with needs and desires of the little children? To remember the weaknesses and loneliness of people who are growing old? To stop asking how much your friends love you? And to ask yourself whether you love them enough? To bear in mind the things that other people have to bear on their hearts? To trim your lamps. So this is, you can tell, written a long time ago. To trim your lamps so that it will give you more light, less smoke, and to carry it in front of you so that your shadow will fall behind you. To make a grave for your ugly thoughts and a garden for your kindly feelings with the gate open. Are you willing to do those things for a day? Then I think you're ready to keep Christmas. So that's the whole idea, is if you are ready to open the gate in your heart. Because let's face it, grief is a process of putting back together the pieces of a broken heart, a hole so deep in the middle of your heart that it aches and hurts and you don't think it's ever going to stop hurting. And those are the moments when we wonder, okay, so Christmas is coming, so should I even embrace Christmas? Should I run and hide? Should I go on a vacation and not come back till the first of the year? Well, it depends on your finances and it depends on your attitude. But I think that it's important for us to look at a moment of the difference between being alone and lonely. Now, my husband died in March, so this is going to be my first Christmas without Ron. Now, I have lost a husband before when I was much younger, and I know what it's like to go through Christmas minus one. But I do believe that a lot of times, the older you get, the more it's easy to crawl into some kind of hole and just stay there because it's too much effort to do anything. And so I want to challenge you, maybe just this holiday season, to think a little bit about how is being alone in your house, in your dwelling place. This will be my first Christmas in my new cottage. That's what I call it, a cottage. And so I am making some changes to decide what I want to do during this holiday season, because I want to make it, even though my heart is still pretty, it still needs a lot of healing and it's painful. I have decided that there's several things I'm going to do to make it merry. And so when you're alone, you can be calm. It's being somewhere with nothing other than your own thoughts. And you're able to hear things that you often intentionally block out without meaningless conversation and loud music and well-attended parties. Alone is listening to the things that you have to say to yourself. Giving time to the more important reflections that you often allow to settle in the back of your mind, like a fine dust that sweeps under the rug. And so you come home, maybe you're working, and you come home and your house is dark, and you think, wow, what am I going to do to make a little light and make it be alone but not lonely? So one of the things I've started to do, because I come home usually at night and it's dark, so I make sure my front lights are on. And it makes me think this way, oh, somebody turned on the lights, there must be somebody home. I can't wait to get inside. Well, you know what? The person that's home is me. I just walked in the door. There's light on my porch, and there's light in my hallway, And I recognize right away, I'm home. And I'm glad to be home. And there's something about that quietness that sinks into your heart and says, I can enjoy my dinner alone. I can appreciate going to the mailbox and seeing if there's anything in the mail for me. And I can appreciate the fact that sometimes quietness is healing. Well, when you're lonely, you just talk to yourself to the point where you just are sick and tired of hearing your own voice in your head. And your thoughts alone, reaffirming them over and over until almost nothing has any meaning left. It's wanting a sounding board for all the things you discovered on your own, the things you want to conform with the comforting reality of hearing another human being speak them out loud. So when that happens and you say to yourself, man, I'm so lonely, I can't handle this, that's when you turn on some beautiful music and you let the music begin to fill your heart and the places that ache with something that's bigger than you. And alone is eating dinner for one, taking the time to enjoy each part of your dinner and having it flavored in such a way that you just enjoy the taste. So what I try to do is the fact that I'm alone what I try to do is I try to prepare meals ahead. It may sound real crazy to all of you, but that's okay. And that I go to the store once a week and buy groceries, and I always try to buy at least 5 sweet potatoes. Not yams, sweet potatoes, because I happen to love baked sweet potatoes. And so either on Sunday, I take the time to put them in foil and put them in my oven and I bake them. And when they're finally all baked, I take the foil off of them and I put them each in a separate Tupperware, and I am ready to eat them whatever night I want to eat them. And I always try to make sure that I have some kind of vegetable that I can put with it. And because I love cranberries, I always try to find some cranberry sauce that I've put in my refrigerator that I've already opened a can or a jar. And I have that all ready so I can take a spoonful of that out. And maybe I fix myself a small salad. And all the ingredients for the small salad has already been chopped up and ready. All I have to do is open a container. And it's not long until I warm the sweet potato and I'm ready to sit down with my wonderful dinner. And sometimes as I listen to the music, I just appreciate the fact that there is something filling my heart. Other times, I don't turn music on. I just go through my mail and see if there's anything good in it. And if there is, while I'm eating my dinner, I read my mail. Other times, I just sit for a few minutes, have my cup of tea, and just enjoy the sounds of silence. It's amazing to me that when you're alone, it's really something to realize that there's nobody here, nobody to talk to about how great your food is, nobody to understand what's going on. And you have to take a look at how you look at your life. Alone is taking your break from the pressures of your social circle, happy to stay home for a while, and simply recharge. I worked early in October in putting my Christmas cards together because I have a lot of them to send this year. And so that's one of my projects that I started on quite a while ago. And for me, it's been fun. It's really been fun to look at my Christmas list and all these people I'm sending to and taking the time to maybe just address 10 or 12 envelopes each night The other routine that I've done is that Ron and I saved all Christmas cards from every year. And last year, I had a box, and every Christmas card that came in, after we read them and talked about them, then I put them in a special box. So this year, since he's not here, I decided that before I started addressing any of my envelopes, I would sit down and go through all the Christmas cards that we got last year, and I prayed over each autograph, each person that sent them, thought about them, and just appreciated the friends I had in my life. Ron wasn't there to pray with me, but it's in those moments when I realize he's gone, but I have a choice. Can I sit down and do something that was a routine for us, or can I just feel sorry for myself that he's not here? I decided I would not feel sorry for myself. I would be thankful and grateful for every person who sent me a card. And so you see, it's a way we look at life. And so lonely is allowing the freedom from judgment to take root in your life, to become a reason to let things go. Maybe it's the dishes piling up, a bed going unmade, the same greasy meal ordered from the same takeout place every night for an entire week. It is losing perspective of other people to the point that your entire world narrows down to you and exactly what you're doing at that moment. You can do that if you want to. But you know what? Alone is walking around your neighborhood and just taking the time to appreciate things that you see as you walk. And you might be seeing Christmas lights come on. Or maybe you're watching people as they're driving by. Or maybe they're walking. Other people are walking. And I think it's important to understand that whatever we do, we need to think about how this is affecting us and how can I begin to create other things as I'm walking. For sure, when I'm walking, sometimes there's no one out because I'm doing it later at night. But if I am walking and there's people out, I'm always saying hello. I always address them and speak nice to them. So lonely is seeing something so beautiful that you feel your heart can contain it, but you're going to be thankful that there's somebody that you can call and share something that you're wanting to share with someone else. It is wanting to turn to someone and say, look, isn't that wonderful? And then you realize with so many memories that you have had, and there's not that person to share with, but those memories are in your heart. And you can take out memories anytime and remember that you are thankful for every good memory you have. And so, how about Christmas is coming? Are you willing to stoop down and consider the needs and desires of children? To remember the weaknesses and loneliness of people who are growing older? To stop asking how much your friends love you and to ask yourself whether you love them enough? To bear in mind the things that other people have to bear on their hearts? To trim your lamp so that it will give more light, less smoke, and to carry it in front of you so that your shadow will fall behind you. To make a grave for your ugly thoughts and a garden for your kindly feelings with an open gate. Are you willing to do these things for a day? Then I think you're ready to do Christmas. And you know what? Sometimes we can have Christmas every day if we're just willing to open the gate and let someone in. Maybe it's your thoughts. maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's someone that you're watching ride their bike down the road. We just need to open our gate and find out and believe that we can be alone and be content. And we can see what we have around us and be glad and thankful for it and appreciate what's going on in our hearts. So you know what? I'm in your corner. And somehow I hope that one step at a time this Christmas, that you will make something good happen and that you can have a Merry Christmas. I hope you take one step in that direction. It'll make a whole lot of difference in how you see this season. You know, I'm thankful for your willingness to listen to me. You certainly have every right to give me a call and tell me how you're doing. Or you can send an email and tell me what's happening, because I want you to be able to share your thoughts with someone. Let's open the gate to our feelings, our honesty, as we take one step forward. Remember, I really am in your corner.